I got invited to do a show in my hometown of Davis, California a couple of years ago, and I got a standing ovation in the room after from old teachers that I'd had, community members, friends, family, and in that moment it felt like I kind of had everything, like I was good. I had the people in my hometown standing up to support me, and that was really cool. What's going on, everybody? My name is Brent Pella. I'm a stand-up comedian, filmmaker, content creator, allergic to shellfish, and lover of trees. My origin story, I suppose, goes back when I was a kid. I grew up in a small little farm town in Northern California, and I was raised by a single mom. She was kind of a hippie mom. She brought me to a lot of Grateful Dead shows when I was just a little hippie baby running around with a tie-dye shirt and no pants on. When I was 5 years old, and I would sneak under the dinner table and tie my great-grandfather's shoes together. I'd sneak back to my chair, and everybody would pretend like they didn't know what was going on, and then he would pretend to trip and fall, which was a little scary because he was like 98 years old. You don't really want to be pretending to trip and fall at 98. You want to have a strong relationship with gravity. It was cool to just kind of make family members laugh, and a lot of those little moments of being the only kid in the family at the time, so kind of having this ability to create laughter amongst family members was awesome. It was a free audience, you know, they had no choice but to watch me, so I hiked up the ticket prices, and I earned every Happy Meal toy that I performed for.
Whoa, free boat ride for 3. Now, who should I take? Keeve? Yes. And T-Pain.
Cool.
One of my biggest inspirations was the Lonely Island guys back when Andy Samberg was on Saturday Night Live. I was in college at the time. They were such a huge influence on me and my buddies. We started shooting comedy videos in college. I was at UC Santa Barbara at the time. We made a music video called Bike Path Love, and then another one called Walk of Shame. Just these like silly college-related comedy songs. When I moved to Los Angeles after graduating college, my first day job was as a PA, and I lucked into getting to PA on a Lonely Island music video, which was the first PA gig I ever had. On this particular shoot, I got to watch basically my heroes. Being fresh out of college, only having done a couple of comedy videos, I was able to see Andy Samberg and Yorma and Akiva, the 3 guys in their element, directing each other, performing, playing, throwing jokes around. And at the end of the shoot, Andy Samberg was in line to get food before leaving. And I went up to him and I was super nervous. And I said, you know, I'm a huge fan and I just finished college. I moved down here. I'm making funny videos, but I was wondering, you know, what did you do when you just got out of college? What did you do in your early days before SNL, before all this? He said he had done stand-up for like 7 years. And he was never like touring. He was never big in the stand-up scene necessarily, but it helped him write and perform. And that was all the inspiration I needed to start going to open mics. So pretty much within the weeks following that, I started hitting open mics almost every night across LA. It was kind of a pivotal moment as I look back on it, yeah. A lot of people's first open mics go pretty bad, but mine actually went horribly. Yeah, really, really awful. It was this dingy little spot called the Clubhouse. It's not there anymore, but it was an upstairs loft. I was there just to watch a comedy show, and they said during the show, hey, after the show is over, we're gonna open up the bucket so everybody can put their names in, and if your name gets pulled, you can do 1 minute of stand-up. And in my head, I was like, oh, well, this is the universe telling me to do it. It was fun for me to do bad, and it sounds weird to say that, but it motivated me to get better in a big way. I can't really identify a moment that was the catalyst in me wanting to do this full time, but just gradually. I always wanted to create for a living and make my own schedule and tailor my mission around whatever projects brought me the most joy and could put the most joy into the world. I hosted an event last year for this organization called VETS, V-E-T-S, Veterans Exploring Treatment Solutions. They send veterans with PTSD overseas for psychedelic-assisted therapy that they can't get in the US. And one of the keynote speakers at the event was Andrew Huberman, who I had made a couple different videos about prior to that had gotten pretty popular online. I was making fun of him for different things. And so I got to roast him live in a room full of old school veterans and people from the military. And it was simultaneously exciting, fun, but also kind of terrifying because I knew that pretty much anybody in the room could snap my neck in a heartbeat. But it was a blast. It was really cool to be considered amongst the people that I look up to. Yeah, so it was an honor. Yeah. What drives my passion for making people laugh? The highest expression of love that you can put out, to me, is laughter. That's pure joy. And I think the more of that gets put out, the overall better the world is. And I think it's measurable because that has an effect on your internal system, which then can affect your external system. And that butterfly effect can extend and compound person by person by person, by state by state, by country by country, by continent by continent. And I really believe that. Anytime I can make somebody laugh is great. It makes me laugh, makes me happy. It's really a selfish thing, honestly. I want to feel good. So I have to make somebody else laugh in order for me to feel good. It's codependency, but you know what? If the codependency helps other people, then why not be a little bit codependent? I'll co-opt your laugh. Sure, yeah. Yeah, when I think of big obstacles for me, just keeping my mental state balanced, because keeping a balance for me between my mind, my body, my spirit, and my emotions. Because, artists, I think, fall into traps of toxic self-doubt and comparison to other people based on what they don't have and what others do have. All of that is so toxic, and it leaves no space for joy. Creative evolution is it's fun. It's fun. If I look back at what I was doing 12 years ago when I first moved to LA, I would be so embarrassed. It's part of the fun of the creative process and the creative journey and the journey of life itself to continue going after whatever is going to make that 100%. Continuing to try and figure out what it is you want to say and how you want to say it. And everything you make is another attempt at doing that. I do quite a few things to keep my mind and body in balance. And I try to meditate every day. Physically, I've always been an athlete, so I still play basketball pretty competitively with friends. I eat clean, almost entirely organic, trying to minimize the amount of plastic that my food touches, because I learned that on average, people eat a credit card worth of plastic a week. It's crazy. I don't want to eat plastic. So try to avoid that. Sauna, cold plunge, your typical biohacking events. Functional mushrooms are fantastic. I've been cooking with mushrooms forever, but the research on things like lion's mane, reishi, and cordyceps and the other functional mushrooms and the long-term studies that have been done and that are ongoing are insane. They're incredible. Mushrooms are a gold mine of health and human optimization. There's also a lot of good that can come from taking health into your own hands and doing research into supplements and products like Supermush. So there are 3 types of Supermush gummies: sleep, energy, and sex. I just tried doing the sleep ones for the first time. The energy gummies are rad because they really give me a kick. I usually take an energy gummy before having sex with the sex gummy, and it says right here, I'm dying to get into your mouth. What more could you want from a sex gummy than for it to beg you for sex? There's a legit positive impact that I've found. I'm sharper, I'm more focused instead of hopping around from thing to thing every 5 minutes. So yeah, big fan of the sex gummies. You're doing a great job. Something as simple as that, just a reminder, because you really are. You are. We're all trying our best, and I think it's important to remember that. I don't think we remind ourselves enough. I don't think people give themselves enough credit. I certainly don't give myself enough credit. So, being on this career path and doing everything solo and going from project to project or paycheck to paycheck and trying to create a life and be a human is hard work. It's tough, but you're doing a good job. If you're here right now, if you're watching this right now, if you've gotten to the point where you're able to watch this or sit in that chair or sit on this couch, we're doing our best, and we're doing a good job.